I'm not good enough. I don't deserve this promotion. I'm not smart enough to do that. I'm worthless. No one really even cares about me. I don't even know why I should try. I'll just fail again. I'm so dumb. I don't do anything right. Why does nothing ever good happen to me? I guess I'm just not meant to be happy. Do these sound familiar to you? They are very familiar to me because I have said them to myself multiple times. I have beat myself down worse than anyone ever has been able to. I said these things so much, they became my identity. I am a victim of my own negative self-talk. The things that we say to ourselves matter. When it comes to negative self-talk, you should ask yourself, would you say those things to someone else? So where does negative self-talk come from? Where does the I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, where does that stem from? Negative self-talk can come from lots of places. Negative self-talk can come from things that happen in your childhood, things that happen in adulthood. Negative self-talk can come from failing at something, a failed business, a failed career. It could even come from the pressures that society places on us. Negative self-talk comes from the 3 C's. They are comparison, criticizing, and complaining. I really want to talk about negative self-talk because it is so prominent and we all do it, but we have got to stop talking to ourselves like this. It's very, extremely unhealthy, and a lot of people do it without even realizing they're doing it. And so I'm here to let's talk about it. Let's talk about negative self-talk. The first C of negative self-talk is comparing. And comparison is the thief of joy. I know we've heard it, but do you actually sit and marinate on what that means? Comparing yourself to other people is the worst form of negative self-talk. This is what it sounds like. How is she already married? How does she already have a home that she's purchased? How did she find love? Why didn't I get that first? Why didn't I think of that? How do they deserve that and I don't? This is all comparing and negative self-talk, and you don't really think about it because we're prone to compare ourselves. And it's not good. It's not okay. We don't know what other people's stories look like. That's the first thing with comparing. We don't know how people got to where they are. We don't know what kind of head start they had. We don't know if we're just seeing the highlights. We don't know what they go through behind closed door. We're comparing ourselves to a little tiny thing that we see. And a lot of it is from social media. Social media, honestly, you can be whoever you want to be on social media. You can only put the highlights and never show the good. There are so many people that we think are living this fabulous life, and behind closed doors, they're depressed, they're miserable, they're being abused. Some of these happy relationships that we're seeing are not happy at all, but they have an image to uphold. And this is not every time, but a lot of times, the things that we're comparing ourselves to, it doesn't even make sense. That's why they have this saying that everything that glitters is not gold. Something can look so good on the outside, and on the inside, it's horrible. If y'all knew, and this is not a bragging thing because I think it's kind of corny, the amount of married men that inbox me saying inappropriate things, it's like, but on Facebook, happily married, like, you would never know. But you're comparing it to something that you see on Facebook. A lot of stuff that we see is not really what it is, but people put on an image. Even down to celebrities. There are people that we love, that we admire, that we think their life is so perfect because they have all this money, and they end up committing suicide because they're not happy. We have got to stop comparing ourselves. You cannot compare yourself to what others are showing you, because a lot of people are just showing us the highlights. That's the first C. Stop comparing yourself today. It's negative enforcement. You got to stop today. Make today the last day you can compare yourself. And I know it's not going to be the last day, because I tend to forget these things too. I really want you guys to understand it's not going to be perfect all the time. Even me, I do catch myself comparing, but you got to bring it back. The next C is criticizing. And I'm talking about criticizing yourself. I am, because we all do it. We are our biggest critics. You have got to know the difference between being self-aware and knowing what you need to work on versus criticizing yourself. This is something that's criticizing. Oh my gosh, I am so stupid. How could I have forgotten to do blank? That's criticizing, very much critical of yourself. You're not stupid. You made a mistake. Here's how you revamp that. I could have been more focused this morning. I could have prepared better, so that way I would have not forgotten to do this. You're not stupid. You're not dumb. You're not a mess up. I don't like to cuss on here, so that's why I said you're not a mess up. Being self-aware and criticizing yourself, there is a huge difference. Being overly critical of yourself, that's when the problem comes in. We are very aware. We all have things that we constantly need to work on. For example, me. I get on myself all the time about my stomach. If you're new here, Tina is her name, and Tina don't be wanting to go nowhere. And so I have to stop telling myself like, oh my gosh, you're so fat. Your stomach is so huge. You're never going to lose your stomach. That is very much criticism of myself. That's not healthy for myself. That's negative talking to myself. What I need to be saying is make sure you're staying on track for your goals. You're working really hard. It's going to come, but stay on track. You got to stay on track to reach your goals. That is the difference. Stop criticizing yourself. The thing is, you keep telling yourself, oh, I'm stupid, nobody will love me. Yeah, you're stupid. And no, nobody is going to love you. That's how the thought process works. That's how law of attraction works. Stop being overly critical of yourself. We have flaws. We all have things that we need to work on. But tearing yourself down is not the way to fix it. I'm telling you. I'm telling me. We have got to stop being overly critical of ourselves. And the last C of negative self-talk is complaining. Because we do it. We all do it. And life is lifing. Life is frustrating. Very much so. I get it. I understand. We have got to stop complaining all the time. And what do I mean? When there's problems, are we just complaining about it? Or are we trying to figure out solutions? Me, I'm probably going to cry about it first. But afterwards, after I get it out and I'm like, okay, I'm done feeling sorry for myself now. What's next? What's the next move? What are we working towards? Because complaining turns into more negativity. More negativity turns into more negative self-talk about yourself. That's why we have to stop complaining. Now, give yourself a moment if you need to, because I get it. If you need to cry, you need to let it out, you need to be frustrated. Acknowledge those emotions. They're very real. But immediately after that, get a plan in place. How are we going to fix this? How can we make adjustments? What is the silver lining? Because sometimes in that moment, you can't even see the silver lining. You see nothing. You see darkness. You're hopeless and despair. Get it. Got it. Been there. Might be there next week. Maybe. Hopefully not. But you never know, because it's life. After you acknowledge those emotions, start figuring out solutions, or start figuring out a silver lining. Figure out something good that came out of this situation. Even in the worst times, there's always a silver lining. Even if it's just you learned something. You learned how to move different for the next time. There's always a silver lining. You have to remember that. You have to be able to overcome. Life is not easy. Nobody said it was going to be easy. It has ups and downs. So when you're up, stay up. Period. Always. And when you come down, you gotta fight back to the top. You gotta overcome that stuff. And in the meantime, down talking yourself is not gonna help you get over it. I'm sorry. I hate to bring that to you, but down talking yourself is not going to fix the problem. It's honestly just gonna make it worse. because you're going to keep harping it. And you're like, oh my God, I'm so dumb. Yeah, that's right. That's why nobody loves me. That's why I have nobody. That's why nobody wants to be around me. It just starts snowballing. You start to spiral. Everything starts to spiral. It went from you forgot to take the chicken out the freezer the night before to you're so stupid, you'll never have a husband, your kids hate you. All because you started spiraling. You started one little negative thought turned into all these negative things about yourself that are not even true. That don't even correlate. You forgot to take out the chicken, that's why you're not married? Like, no, it don't work like that. It's not making sense. It does not work like that. You have got to be your biggest supporter. Let me tell you, there are plenty, and I say this all the time because it's very much true. There are plenty of people that are going to do the negative self-talk for you. You don't have to be another person to down yourself. If anything, you got to be the number one person to bring you up every single time. That's why a lot of people that have low confidence and low self-esteem, they tend to go off the deep end because they don't even believe in themselves. And all it takes is one person to say something wrong, and now they have now inherited that trait. And now they continue the self-talk. You have got to be the person to stop it. You have got to nip it in the bud. This negative self-talk, you're anxious and you're depressed and you don't want to leave the house because you don't have confidence in your own self. I was very much there a lot of my life. That's why this video means so much to me, because you can literally think yourself into depression. You can down yourself so bad till you feel worthless. And a lot of people don't even feel the same way about you. Now, of course, there's somebody gonna feel like you worthless, but that's a them problem that has nothing to do with you. You're not here to just be nothing. You're not here to down yourself. You're not worthless. Somebody out there somewhere is depending on you. Even if it's just you, you need to depend on you. It's dark right now, but it gets better. One bad day, 2 bad days, it could be a bad month. This year, personally, has been one of the roughest years of my life. But I keep fighting. You have to keep showing up for yourself, even when it seems like no one else is showing up for you. You do that by first what you tell yourself. You're going to start speaking life into yourself. You're going to wake up every day, look in that mirror, and tell yourself what you love about yourself. And it's going to sound crazy. And if you don't have nothing, smile at yourself. Look in the mirror, smile at yourself for 10 seconds. Don't start the day as soon as you look in the mirror telling yourself something bad. Wait till you go outside and Ray Ray tells you something bad. Let them do that. But you need to go ahead, start giving those good vibes to yourself. Start loving yourself. So that's number one. Speak positivity into yourself. Girl, your hair look good today. Oh, girl, you look real nice today. You looking slim. Or you were very productive today. I'm very proud of what you got accomplished yesterday. Tell yourself you're proud of yourself. You might be the only person that's proud of you. You have got to tell yourself, smile at yourself, hype yourself up every time. It's not being cocky. It's being confident. You need to boost yourself up before you walk out your house. Nowadays with social media, you ain't even got to walk out your house. You just get on Facebook and somebody can tell you something about yourself. So, number one, be your biggest fan. You got to hype yourself up first and foremost. Next way we're going to overcome self-talk is reflect. When you're about to say something to yourself, ask yourself, is that something you would say to somebody else? Would you be okay saying that to somebody else? Would you say, oh my God, you're so fat to somebody else? Now, if you would, that I ain't got nothing for y'all that would do that to somebody else. I know I wouldn't say that to somebody else because that's just not cool. Why would you take the time to down somebody else? This is for the people who would not say something like that to somebody else. So if you wouldn't say that to somebody else, it doesn't sound right saying that to somebody else. Why would you think it's okay to say that to yourself? You wouldn't say you're stupid, you're dumb. There's a train. You would not sit there and tell somebody else, you're dumb, you're stupid, you don't deserve love. Nobody loves you. You're not worthy of that. You're not good enough for that. Does that sound like something you would say to somebody else? No. So why are you saying it to yourself? Please, make it make sense. This is something that I had to learn for myself. If I don't feel okay saying that out of my mouth to somebody else, why would I say it to myself first? Nobody is worthless. Nobody is useless. Nobody is not worthy of love. It's just simply not true. If you are telling yourself that, you're lying to yourself. You're a liar. Tell yourself that. You are a liar. If you're going to tell yourself something, tell yourself that. Because it's not true. I'm sorry. I know you want to believe that, but it's not true. However, we do make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. We're not perfect. That's the way life goes. So when you do mess up, instead of saying, oh, you're dumb or you can't do anything right, let's reframe those thoughts. Let's figure out what we could have done so that whatever happened couldn't happen. What do I mean? Again, you forgot to take the chicken out the freezer. This is quick sidebar. Because I know I keep using this chicken out the freezer reference. I forgot to take the chicken out the freezer last night, so I had to go to the grocery store this morning to get more chicken when I had chicken already in the freezer. So that's why the chicken in the freezer keeps coming up. Just a little sidebar, because I know y'all probably like, girl, what is up with the chicken? So that's the reason. So just throwing that out there. So now we're back on track. I could have very well been like, oh my gosh, you're so stupid. You're so dumb. Why did you not take the chicken out the freezer? Because now you got to take your old stupid self to the store to buy something that you already have. No. How do I reframe that? Girl, what was you doing last night that you forgot to take the chicken out the freezer? You know you was making the chicken today, but you still forgot. Next time, write it down so you don't forget. See how that sounds better? Like, I got on myself a little bit because, you know better. But I'm not like, oh my gosh, you're stupid. You can't do anything right. Now, for an example that doesn't involve my personal mess up, let's say you want to lose weight. You cannot tell yourself every day in the mirror like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to lose this weight. Why am I even trying? It's not going anywhere. You cannot do that to yourself. Let's reframe that to say this. I'm embarking on this fitness journey. I know it's going to take some time. The time is going to pass anyway. Take your time. Let's ease into it. Let's find what we like to do and let's just do it. It's a simple, just reframing how you think. Or, I can't believe I'm not married. I'm 31. This is for me also. When you feel like you're not worthy of love, like I said, you are very much worthy of love. How do you reframe that? I just haven't found my person yet. I'm learning through experience. I'm getting prepared for my husband. I'm not ready for my husband yet. There's things that I need to work on to find my husband. It's all about reframing your thoughts. Anything negative that you can think about yourself, that you have said to yourself, there's a way to reframe that and make it positive. There is. I'm telling you, you can do it. And I'm the queen of negative self-talk. I have had low self-esteem for as long as I can remember. And now I'm in this place, like, granted, a lot of days is a little hard because if you don't know, I do have rheumatoid arthritis and sometimes I limp. And that's when I am at my lowest because I feel like everybody's looking at me, wondering what's wrong with me. So I still have those issues with self-esteem. I'm stepping away from letting it get to me as bad. But your girl was the queen of low self-esteem. That's why I'm telling you, it's possible because I have reframed a lot of my thinking. That's why I feel like I can tell you these things because I've been there. This is not something I read out of a book. I have been there. Often. And sometimes I still get there. But you have to reframe that. What you're telling yourself is not true. It's not. Another thing with avoiding negative self-talk is you're going to have to avoid those triggers. Whatever brings you back to not feeling good enough, worthy enough, all those things we tell ourselves, you need to avoid them. And if every time you get on social media, you start those thoughts of, I'm not good enough or I wish my life was like that, go ahead and get up off of there. Go ahead and unfollow, block, unsubscribe, whatever you have to do. Social media is a trigger, and I want y'all to understand a lot of the stuff you see on social media is not true. Even me, if I start seeing things or I see people out here living their best life and I'm here struggling, I'm like, yeah, go ahead and get off. Get off for the day because I'm getting into that negative space. And you have to do that. Or it could be people. If there's a person in your life, and I know Black people, we talk about it, we make jokes about it, but if there's an auntie or an uncle that when you come around like, dang, you getting big, or you still not married yet, when you gonna get married, when you gonna have kids? No, nah, baby. Ain't no more staying around, still coming around family that blatantly disrespects you and tears you down for the sake of, oh, it's just family. Nah, no. Because in my opinion, family shouldn't be talking to you like that. If an auntie say, when you gonna get married, that's the last time the auntie gonna talk to me. Because why you care? Are you married? What if I don't want to be married? Or when are you having kids? You don't know what I go through. You don't know if I can even handle kids. You don't know if I can even have kids. Why is that your business? People can very much be triggers. So if they're the people that trigger you or take you back to a place that you got out of from your childhood, you don't have to be around them. We protect our peace. We protect our peace at all costs. And if you can't go to the family reunion, well, two fingers in the wind, they're going to have to holler at you next time when they learn how to talk to people. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are not going there. We're not doing that anymore. We're not children anymore. No. Cut. You want to call me fat? Girl, absolutely not. You will never see me again. I promise. Anything that is a trigger to you, you do not have to be around it. People, places, things. Now, if you're getting triggered at work, I always go to work because work is a different ball game. If you can't get out of there, you just gotta up that positive self-talk a little bit more until you can get out of there. But other than that, family, friends, people that bring you down, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not coming around you. I'm protecting my peace, my energy by avoiding you. Especially if you've already spoke your piece. If you already said something and they don't appreciate it or they don't respect it, I'ma holla at you. That's just that on that. Negative self-talk has got to stop. You are not worthless. You are not stupid. You are not dumb. But you are a liar. You're very much a liar. If you're saying this stuff to yourself, you are absolutely a liar. And I stand on that. Because it's not true. Your thoughts are going to become your reality if you continue to tell yourself that. It's not true. Stop telling yourself that. Stop putting that into your head because you're going to start to believe it. And then once you start to believe it, what are you fighting for anymore? There's nothing to fight for. Stop lying to yourself. Start speaking life into yourself right now. You're beautiful. You're worthy of everything that you deserve. Life is going to happen for you the way it's supposed to. You're going to find your dream career. You're going to find your dream partner. It's all going to come in its time. But if you continue to tell yourself you're not worthy, it's not, because you put that energy into the atmosphere. You gotta change the narrative. You're not what they told you all those years ago. You're not what you tell yourself. You are only what you answer to. Start answering to those positive thoughts and those positive vibes. Stop lying to yourself. Start believing in yourself, and your life is gonna change. And that's all I have to say. I'm gonna see you on the next video.